Hi, my name is Nilesh and I'm an animator as well as an artist. My main range in animation specializes in 2D animation and concept art, where I can work on everything from the characters to storyboarding. My main reason of choosing animation is that it's a medium that can not only express creativity, but it also can present serious issues to a general audience if done right. Some of my favorite animated works that do these kind of messages are Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Studio Ghibli films, Adventure Time, and HoloLens. And I hope to make projects like that someday. My final project, which is titled as The War That Never Ends, is a short film that narrates the events of a soldier struggling to go through his memories on the battlefield. It's a project that tackles on post-traumatic stress-related disorder, and it shows it through the perspective of that soldier. The idea first came to me from a Metallica song called One, where it describes the experiences of a soldier who has lost all senses and limbs and is trapped within his mind. From there, I looked into the Johnny Got a Gun novel written by Delton Trumbo, and later looked into statistics related to PTSD and war-related issues. I started with scheduling out my entire process from start to finish. So from that, I used a chart to determine which shots in order to do first, and also separated each shot by stages, like from concept art to animation and processing. After doing that, I then had to figure out the style of my art. The project doesn't just take place in one setting, it goes from the past and also the present day of the events. So for the past day, which is supposed to take place in the battlefield, I decided to go with blurry, desaturated backgrounds to give that kind of hazy memory kind of vibe. And the present day was more of a sepia tone to give a sense of relief from that past. While I was animating only one character for most of the time, I had to make sure that the character looked appealing but still easy to animate. And from there, I also had to block out the environments in 3D before I drew over them so I could get a better sense of perspective. And when I moved on to the animatics and editing the final film, I had to make sure that the story was cohesively told because it goes from past to present, and I also have to make sure the two art styles blend in well. Finally, I also had to find music and sound effects that give a proper sense of time of passage from the terrible past through a hopeful present away from the war. My animation process started by working on the more difficult shots first and then leaving the lighter work later so that I can get all the difficulty and stress with animating certain tasks as soon as possible. From there, I started with the construction of how the character would move in keyframes, and then later on added some in-betweening, and finally I had to add in the colors and the shadows to give the look. To get the character movements as accurately as possible, I had to either look up some YouTube videos as references or film some of my own for specific poses that I need to get really technical. Looking back at how far I've come with the past semester, it showed me a lot and tested my time management skills as well as what I can do with just working as a generalist on my own projects, where I have to work on all the steps on my own. And it also showed me what it's like working in the animated industry. I hope that one day I can leave a mark on the industry where I make works that not only challenge the medium, but also tell great stories. Thank you.